Hey there, I'm Steve.
And Tommy.
And Rennie.
And together we're Smarthome Riggs. We got a new product from Wyze, and it's the Wyze Cam V2. Now with the Starlight sensor, so you can see color at night. Watch this and let's get right into it.
Update. We're only 30 subscribers away from our goal of 250 by our 1-year anniversary, October 25th. So please share our video and subscribe to our channel and help us meet our goal.
We're having a giveaway when we hit 250 subscribers regardless. And Steve said if we hit that record early, then we might have 2 winners. So why not join the fun? And the winner could be you. Wyze V2 is here. Let's get into it. Camera, base, and a quick start guide. Oh, look at that. I backed the Wyze. Quick start guide's pretty straightforward. Careful not to hurt the base. This is the rotating base, very similar to the version 1 with the little micro USB on here on the bottom. But you'll notice that it doesn't have the USB. Here's the V1 just for comparison. The V1 had this little USB port on the back for the Wyze. The new one does not, probably to give way for the speaker that they added to that. And then in the box over here we have the cable, USB plug, and 2 packages of desiccant. Size wise, it's the exact same as the V1. They both have the exact same profile. This one has the new Starlight lens and has a siren built into it, although it is still designed for inside. It's not waterproof, has no IP rating, so it is still designed for inside use. If you look on the bottom here, you'll notice they look exactly the same. It still has the microphone, the reset button or the setup button, and the micro SD card. They have 1/4" thread right here. Plus this is metal, so if you have one of the magnetic bases that started with the V1, you can just pop it off and pop the V2 right in its place, and you'll be able to take advantage of the low light lens that uses that Starlight filter, or the Starlight lens that allows you to see at night. This thing professes to make night as clear as day, has pan and tilt the entire room. You can use it with night vision or the color night vision. 1080p, full HD, color night vision, 2-way audio, 24/7 recording. It comes with 12-second videos for the free cloud storage, motion sensor and sound detection, person detection, full-length motion recording if you have the Cam Plus, and 360 by 93 degrees pan and tilt, so you can go 360 degrees around and 93 degrees up and down on the pan and tilt. 120 degree wide angle lens and 110 degrees per second quick rotation speed, which means you can cover the entire room in less than 10 seconds. I think that's going to be awesome. So let me get this plugged in and we'll pit these two head to head and show you what the difference is. Alright, let's get this set up. First of all, let's peel this. That satisfying peel. Let it do its little startup circle. seem right. The old one went all the way to the left and then all the way to the right, so that's a little different. But let's go ahead and we will open the Wyze app and get started. I'm going to come up here and say add a new device, hit the plus sign, add a device. We're going to add a camera. It's going to be the Wyze Cam. Towards the bottom you'll see there's a Cam Pan at the top and a Cam Pan version 2 down at the bottom. So we want to make sure we pick the 2. Flashing red. Press the setup button on the bottom. It's going to be that little button right there.
Ready to connect.
I heard it. Next. We'll pick our Wi-Fi, which is already stored in the system. Put our QR code right in front of it.
QR code scanned. Please wait. Setup completed.
Alright, and we'll point that away. We're just going to call this one the Cam Pan V2, just so we can compare the two. Cam Plus is part of this thing. It does the complete motion capture for 14 days and person detection. There is no way to opt out of this. This is something that I would like to see changed. There's really no choice but to agree and take the 14-day trial and then lose it after there. I wish that there was a way that you could just opt out if you knew right off the bat you weren't going to be subscribing. But in their infinite wisdom, they've chosen not to do that. Alright, and you can see there's the camera, and we can pan left, and we can pan right. And we can go up, and we can go down. And it'll tell you once you've reached the end of its range. So I've got the Pan Cam 1 in here already, so let me go ahead and plug it in, and we'll put it right beside it, facing the same direction, so that we can do a head-to-head comparison. See how that went all the way around to the left? Or all the way around to the right, and then all the way around to the left. That's what I expected this one to do. Okay, I'm going to go back so we got both of them in here. Set them just a little bit closer together. Hit the plus sign. I want to add a device group. And I'm going to create a camera group, and I'm going to call this video test, and I'm going to put the pan 1 and pan 2 in the video test. That way if I go in here, it actually shows both of them side by side. Of course, there's a firmware update. Please stand by. Finally. Really? Another one for the V2. SD card in this. go through the settings here. That little chime you just heard was to let you know that you put an SD card in there and it knows it. So we're going to come in here to detection settings. Those look about right. You can also set up detection zones. And you can touch any of the boxes that you want to try and build the blocks of areas you want to see versus areas you don't care to see. Event recording, you can schedule them. I'm going to have it detect motion, detect sound. Alarm settings, you can have it listen for smoke alarms and for CO2 alarms. So if you have those in your house, it will alert you that those is going off as well because it's trained to recognize that pitch. Advanced setting, you can have continuous because we have the SD card in there now. Manage the memory card. I'm going to come back in here. Motor controls. These are the pan settings I was telling you about, so you can set specific waypoints around what it's looking at so that it knows. These are the ones that are set by default. Basically 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. But you can set them any place that you want to. So if you know that over here by waypoint number 1 is an area you don't wish to capture, then you can move those and set your own. Night vision mode. Auto will automatically turn on night vision. You can come down here and tell it what conditions, when it's extremely low light or when the environment has low light. I want to go with extremely dark so that when the lights are going out it'll go on, but if they're dim I still want to see if the color vision works really well. Night vision IR lights. Camera. Now the night vision IR lights, if you put it in something else that has plastic in front of it, like if you're going to try and use an indoor camera outdoor, you might want to turn off the night vision lights, because if you have a light inside of acrylic case, then you're basically just lighting up the inside of the acrylic case and you won't really see much. But I am going to turn off the status lights and the timestamp and logo while I'm doing this. I do want it to record sound. If you were hanging this upside down, you could tell it to rotate 180 degrees. You could turn that and then you'd be able to see right side up. Otherwise all your footage will be upside down. So I'm going to turn off those. And then you can set up rules here. Sharing, you can go in and share this camera with your friends and family if you were so inclined. The device info will tell you a little bit more about what wireless connection you have, all that good stuff. And if you need support, you can click support right here. And you can restart the camera directly from here. So going back to the camera, whoops. Guess I accidentally did flip it 180 degrees. As you can tell, it was upside down, and now it's right side up again. I don't like the motion tagging. It doesn't seem to change whether it actually detects the motion, but I don't need it outlined in green. I can see what's moving. Alright, so now let's try and test it in the dark. This one off. So you can see the difference between both with the night vision off. It is way brighter. Indoors, this looks like a camera because it's a camera, but they do make things you can get. I found a 3D printed plant And this is specifically designed for the Wyze Cam version 1, but it fits perfectly over both the Wyze Cam version 1 and Wyze Cam version 2. So with this thing, if you had this sitting up on the old shelf, it's going to look a little more like a plant and a little less like a camera. I'm not saying it's going to fool somebody that's looking directly at it, but it is going to fool somebody like a thief, because you could have this facing any direction, and you'll notice this has an opening because it's designed for the V2, and that would still allow you to access the USB port. But put a little piece of electrical tape right over the back there, and you'd be able to cover that up. Now, for those of you who have decided that this is an indoor camera that you wish to use outside, I found this. It's the Sidra bracket. This bracket actually has a plastic polymer that goes all the way around with a little lip on the end of it. But this, with this little lip on it, protects it from the rain on all sides. Slide that over like that, fits nice and tight, and then you've got this piece that goes right on the front. That way it still allows the lens to look around, still allows access for the mic and the sensor. And it's completely sealed on the back. The idea behind this one here is that if there's any water, this has a seal going around it. Any water that hits the top here will hit this little ledge, go right down the side. Any water that hits it on the side will go out to here. The only real trouble spot would be if water hits on your cord. So if you mount this, and you mount this on here as an example, and let's say you were mounting this on the side of your house with the eave or overhang. Tighten this nice and tight so it doesn't fall down. So you get this at whatever viewing angle you wish it to be. Then you want to pull the cable down like this and then zip tie that down. Since this base doesn't move, it only moves on top of the base. This way, if any water does drip on it, it will pull it away from the USB port, not towards the USB port. And for that matter, if this is a permanent installation, you can go ahead and put silicone caulk around here just to make sure it doesn't hit anything on there. But all of this, if water got in from the bottom, you'd still be able to hit that. So you might want to put some packing tape or silicone around this little rim if you want to make it completely bulletproof. But for the most part, just zip tying that thing down should suffice. And you'll notice that when you do try to move the camera, the base doesn't move at all. So any water that got onto that thing would go right down off of that ledge. Put links down to these in the description, so if you want to get one of these items for yourself, feel free to use the links down there. It doesn't cost you any more, but it does help the channel out. But that's not a bad little way to use a indoor camera outdoors. And they say these are indoor cameras, not to use them outdoor, but my brother has one of these outside of his house, and he's had it out there for years. The V1, the V2 is even better, but the V1 he's had outside of his house, and had it under an eave and an overhang in Arkansas, where they have pretty harsh winters and, you know, all of the seasons, and he's not had any problems. One last thing, if you did like the idea of the plant for the Wyze Pan, they also make a version for the Wyze Cam 3. And it looks even better. See sealed up in there. If you have this sitting on a shelf, nobody's going to notice that. It just look like a couple of plants from IKEA. And since these are 3D printed, they are laser etched for every item, so it goes snug right around the power cable there, and perfect for the lens. They have a different version for the V2, so make sure when you order one of these, you stress whether you have the V2 or the V3 and the pan cam. They also make these for Ring, for Nest, for a whole host of other cameras. I just happen to be showcasing the Wyze camera, so I thought it'd be great to show what other options are out there.
And that's just the indoor uses that they tell you can do.
But Uncle Rennie, how do you use it outside?
Well, I like to use mine out back. We've got 2 decks, and so I can hang the camera above my sliding glass door under the top decks. By putting it under the deck, it keeps it a little bit protected from the weather, and it's also fantastic for keeping an eye on those dogs. Check it out.
This is an audio test for Pan Cam version 2. This is the new Pan Cam version 2 audio test. This is an audio test for Pan Cam version 2. This is an audio test for Pan Cam version 2. This is a mic test for both cameras. This is a mic test for both cameras. This is a mic test for both cameras. This is a mic test for both cameras.
And here's Rennie's comparison of those same cameras at night. This one is with the night vision on both cameras. And this one shows that even with the night vision off on both cameras, that new Pan Cam version 2 still pulls in light. And this one shows the night vision is on auto on the V1 and totally off on the V2. But when you put night vision on auto for both, it's clear which one of these is the better camera. And if you're looking for an even deeper dive on this camera to find out all the tips and tricks you can do with it and the ways you can use it for your automations, why not check out our buddy Brian over at Automate Your Life. You'll find a link to his channel in the description below.
Not a bad improvement to their pan cam, huh? Hopefully you liked this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And ding that bell.
If you ding the bell, it's going to let them know that other people should see it as well. So until next time, my name has been Steve.
And Tommy.
And Rennie.
And you guys have been great.
Smarthome Riggs,
helping your smart home tech work for you.